Hello, everyone. Gonna wait for a few people and friends to get on. Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Chloe Fabien. I am a camp assistant, and today I will be interviewing one of our artists, Alice Zilberberg, who is currently featured in our online exhibition, Nature and the Artifice, Other Worlds. Hi, Andres. Happy Monday, everyone. Hello. As I wait for Alice to join, we are very excited because it's Art Week. And even though Art Week is a little toned down this year, we are very excited because we still managed to get to do a lot of events for everyone. Alice joined. I'm gonna wave at her. Hi, Alice. Thanks. Happy Monday, Andres. Alice is going to send a request, and I just got it. Let's hope that it's smooth. We are connecting. Hi, Alice.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I had to figure out how to join. I was waiting for an invitation, but anyway, whatever. I'm here.
I'm happy that it went smooth. This is definitely the smoothest transition I've gotten to a live. So,
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
well, hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah. I'm just going to dive straight into the questions.
Let's go for it.
You refer to your process as photo painting, which makes sense because of the hyper realistic imagery that you can clearly see in your work and the painter's methodology that you use in Photoshop. Can you talk a little bit more about your process of creating your pieces and how you coined the term photo painting?
Sure. So, yeah, I mean, I hear a little feedback. One sec, I'll turn down the volume rather. I just hear okay, hopefully this will be better. Okay. Yeah, so I mean the process, the reason why I call them digital paintings is because there's a lot of work to them. I mean, I take the photos separately and I do put them together, sort of wash them together, but there's a lot of layers of sort of toning and coloring and there's a lot of work to them. They usually, sometimes pieces take, up to a month or two to just make one. And I do find myself sort of painting on top of them. And I also don't, traditional photography, you kind of can see the final product, through the viewfinder. I've never really that's not my process. I normally kind of start with a canvas and I plan what's going to be on it. And this changes throughout how, when I work on the piece, but I usually kind of plan it all ahead and I just kind of slop it together. So that is why I use that language, just sort of separate it from traditional photography.
With technology advancing, do you find yourself using the computer more for this editing, or the iPad?
No.
Great.
I just, the tools that I use, there's always more to learn, within that. So, I mean, look, the way that I've always kind of thought about art in general, because I used to paint before I did photography and what I do now. But I only sort of learn how to do new stuff if I have something else that I want to make sort of in my head. So if I wanted to branch out and do sculpture, I would learn to do that. But right now, I mean, it depends on the idea, is I guess what I'm trying to say. So it depends on the concept and what I need to sort of to sort of do, and then I'll go and learn how to do it. So it's not so much about like the tools themselves and learning how to do stuff just for the sake of it, because I'm just not gonna use it. So
Makes sense.
mhm.
Your work is extremely calming, and you put a big emphasis on your pieces that invoke such calming sentiments. However, it seems that you have such an attention to detail when creating your pieces that it seems almost like painstaking. Do you ever feel that way when creating your work?
No, I don't. I mean, I like making the work. If something's working out, I mean, it's funny. If I'm working on something, I'm happy. If it's working out, I feel happier. I know that this is just like the process to get, you know, what I'm trying to do to work. And it's gonna take as long as it takes. So it's just, I'm not going to release something if it's not kind of on par with the quality that I'm looking for. So I don't find like, I mean, this is just like what needs to happen, you know? So if it's a lot of work and if it's painful and that like something's not working out, then I'll just put it away for a while, work on it later. That's just part of the process.
So I guess that's a great time to ask you, like, how do you know when your piece is truly finished then?
Yeah, you know, it's a good question, Chloe. I, I release them when like I've put them away. I put something away, and then I look at it with a fresh eye later, and then make more changes. Um, I never really know because my eye kind of develops, and things that I look, you know, I look at things that I did 10 years, 5 years ago, and I can just kind of see things that I want to change.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll, you know, my most recent work, I'll look at it the same way a couple of years from now. But I usually kind of, I mean, I have to just like release it at some point. And I like to get things done, you know. So I release it when I look at it and I can't see anything that I need to fix or work on. But you know, I mean, I usually don't finalize it until I need to print it.
Okay. So it's kind of like last minute, but not really like you're satisfied.
Well, I mean, if I do need to print it and like that's it, like I'm starting the edition, then I do take a final look at it and go like, okay, like this is like the last, you know, this is your last chance, and it's stuff that like no one else will notice probably,
Of course.
but I will, and
It's your craft, so exactly.
what am I? Yeah, and I mean, it's just like what's gonna happen, you know.
It makes sense. I'm gonna ask a couple of questions about nature and the artifice, other worlds. What motivated you when you were taking photographs and conceptualizing pieces for this series?
Um, well, that's a good question. I mean, the work is always kind of an amalgam of things and ideas that I'm thinking of. I always wanted to bring wildlife into my work, and then when I kind of started doing it, this sort of general concept kind of came to be with it, and I mean, I don't really have like a very clear answer to that. Like usually it's just a bunch of ideas that I have like aesthetically or conceptually and a bunch of things that I'm thinking of. And it's also like I'll digress, but I mean it's a continuation of work that I've done before conceptually. Mm-hmm. It's always something about nature. And you know, with this work it's this. So
I understand. It was beautiful, the way you like the hyper realistic imagery of the nature and photography. I love that.
Thank you.
Your thing. You talk a lot about the value of nature and how it informs your artwork, as well as the importance of conservation and sustainability. What value does nature and sustainability hold in your life?
I think I've always been kind of a huge advocate for just taking care of the environment. And I don't really know why or like where it came from, or maybe it has something to do with where I grew up. But I mean, it always just seemed really clear to me that, you know, I mean, no one can argue with the fact that, like, the biodiversity of the planet is going downhill very fast, and no one's really talking about it like very it's just enough, okay?
Yeah.
Or and it's just really really sad, and it is really sad because no one is like you and I, or like no one's individually responsible for what's going on. And I try to be like, as a consumer, aware of like what I'm buying and things like that. But there's nothing. You can't go to the grocery store and buy anything that's like 100%, not damaging
Hmm.
the environment.
Unfortunately, I wish it was that way, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And so I mean, so I'm really passionate about, about the subject and, nature conservation in general. And I just, yeah, I think it's also, the point that I try to make with this project is that, like, it's not only just good for me, for the trees are good for us as well.
Hmm.
And and once the wild, like, some wildlife is going to disappear,
Hmm.
and whole ecosystems are going to disappear, like, just you can't really get them back. And it's just
Exactly.
really unfortunate because there's things that we can do now, so why don't we do them? And it's like, a lot of the times, like, we're just focused on all these like human problems.
Yeah, like no
um
one's talking about it, like you said, unfortunately.
yeah, not enough, in my opinion. Of course people are, but it's also good for me as an individual. Forget about the whole, like, as a whole and what's going on in the world, but like for me as an individual, it's good to be connected, with nature. It's good for my well-being. So I
Mhm.
really would like to just keep, you know that around. So I try to make the point with this project that, like, let's talk about this and
It
do
speaks
something
to
about
other
it.
people and makes them think as well.
Yeah.
I agree. Do you think there's a way to achieve continued development while also minimizing our harm on the environment? Like you spoke about, like recycling, you do your part. Do you think there's a way for all of us as a whole to practice that?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like I said, there's no the responsibility doesn't lie with each and every one of us, like, oh, like, you're, like, doing this. So it's a problem with the system. But there are, I mean, it is, I mean, I try to be aware of this, and there is green energy, you know, things happening, and companies are kind of going in that direction. I just wish that it was happening faster,
Yeah.
and I think it's just like happening like too late. It's just always like just too late.
It's like we can destroy it like really quickly, but saving it and bringing it back is where the time it really matters. Like it takes a lot of time to restore, wildlife
Yeah, and I
and
mean, and
stuff.
we live, unfortunately, we live in, this capitalist society where it's about money, right? I
Hmm.
mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
And and I'm not Amazon, so I can't make those decisions, like, just me.
Hmm.
Um, but I hear that they are trying to do some green projects, so good on them. So I mean, I think that it's about, like, being aware, and there's lots of excuses, like not having enough time to research it or anything, or just all kinds of things, and we're all just like, so not we're all, but a lot of people, just in general, it's a lot of human problems, less, talking about the environment, but also just, like, it would be good for us in the long run. So why not?
Save our kids, save our future.
Yeah, I mean, that is a huge issue, right? I mean, people are talking about that.
Yeah. I'm thankful that you did a series to talk about it because it is such a pressing issue. So Thank you.
Yeah, and it sucks that, everything is done last minute. I mean, we should have been doing things a long time ago.
Yeah.
And hopefully, it gets repaired as much as it does, as it could. I mean,
because we literally, we don't know. Nothing's promised. The way 2020 is looking, we can be hopeful that our efforts, do turn out. So maybe next year, we'll have a lot more green talk and restoration, stuff like that.
yeah, I think it's happening. I think it should just happen more, and then I'm trying to just doing my part, and I really do care, and I think that it's just obvious, it's just like almost like common sense to me, to do this and like to raise a little bit of money for wildlife and nature conservation. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, thank you for talking to us today. And
Thank you, Chloe. It's so nice.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone got the chance to ask any questions in the comments, but if anyone has any questions for Alice, we're gonna be on for a little more. I'm looking to see. But yeah, I think that was great. Your exhibition is currently online on Artsy, it's been going great. How do you feel about having your work online and like doing virtual scenes rather than physical, with COVID and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great, to do rather than nothing, I guess. But I think it looks good. I think that it's nice that everyone has access to it. I am really grateful that with COVID, actually, there was just like a spike in like online activity. So that's good. And hopefully it stays that way, even if and when things go back to how they were. So
Yeah, we'll still have it as a resource, which is great.
yeah,
Do you
hopefully
have
people find it easier to or are more comfortable interacting with art online like that.
Mhm. Do you have any upcoming projects coming or new stuff coming out?
Yeah, I mean, I am still working on the same series. I mean, it is still new, and so I want to add to it. There's still a couple more animals that I want to do, and
Cool.
yeah, I'm always thinking about new things to do. Nothing that I can speak of right now.
I understand. Maria asked if you have any dream projects, like dream locations or an idea that you want to manifest in the future. I know you said you can't talk about the current ones you're doing, but like maybe something you hope for.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Yeah, my dream project is always the one that I'm working on right now.
Cool. That's
as I do what needs to be done. Like I have, whatever idea that I have, it needs to just, if no one else does it, then it's not going to get done. So, I mean, I do what I need to do, right? Even if it's like, flying somewhere to get certain kind of terrains or whatever it might be, or certain kinds of animals, like, yeah, if there was something that was a dream of mine, I'd just do it. Like that's how I work, and I'm just that kind of a person.
I like that. That's great. It sounds like you're just a go-getter. You get it done, and that's how you make groundbreaking stuff like that. Melanie's requesting that you do an otter.
Right, yeah, I know. Maybe if I find myself just like casually in Singapore, I'll
Casually around.
Yeah, just like over the weekend or anything. I don't know if you like know, like there's otters there kind of like just on the streets.
No way. In Singapore?
I think so. correct me if I'm
Wow.
wrong, anyone. But yeah, they're kind of the country has kind of made it really, yeah, like a very hospitable environment for otters to just kind of like roam around. Yeah, look it up.
Okay, no, I'm totally gonna look that up. Um, can you talk about all the awards you won this year? Because we are super excited about that. We were you on PBS? Is that?
I was on CBC.
Oh, that's exciting.
Um, yeah, yeah, they did a really beautiful documentary. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it was great. The producers just like did such a great job. The team did such a great job. And yeah, they're really interested in, this project, and I'm glad that they connected with me. Um, and what I was gonna say about it, I mean, yeah, it was really, really cool. Um, in terms of awards, I can't remember which ones were like specifically this year, but this series, yeah, pretty much like I'm very grateful that has won, you know, top awards in every award that I did
That's
apply.
exciting. That's super
Yeah, it's
exciting.
super cool. Yeah. In terms of like, yeah, I think like the International Photography Awards, the Fine Art Photography Awards, the just anything that
Wow.
uh so it's yeah, it's super cool. I'm glad that the work has been extremely well received. I'm very grateful. Yeah, I like it. So, you know.
That's great. You're going out there doing what you want to do. People are loving it. You're getting rewarded for like that. That sounds like, all you can ask for. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, there were recently just this month in Photo Israel, which is this photography festival in Israel that happens every year. So they were in like it was kind of like more. I was very happy about it. I'm from there,
Oh,
and so I like kind of finally got to just like kind of like show my work there. I unfortunately wasn't there. I usually go every November, but I
mhm.
decided that it's just not worth it.
With everything going on. Yeah,
Yeah, but next year.
yeah. And that's still a great accomplishment. Um,
Thank you.
so that's crazy that you go every November. Well, that's not crazy if you're from there.
Yeah,
Great.
try to visit. It's a beautiful country.
Yeah,
Everyone should come.
that's beautiful. I think that those are all the questions that I got. Thank you for your time, Alice.
Thank you, Chloe.
It was great speaking to you. I wish you a good rest of your week and a good Monday. Do you have any advice for new artists? Melanie wants to know.
Sure. Yeah, just go for it. Do what you want, just don't what am I trying to say? Don't don't not do it. Just just do
Just do it.
it. Do whatever you want. Yeah, just do the work, like focus on the work, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
You'll know that it's working, and try not to, yeah, just try not to like get caught up in too much like, oh, like what success looks like or anything like that, because that stuff will come naturally in my experience.
You're a great example of that. I have to say that's great. Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Have a great
Yeah,
Monday.
you too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Bye, everyone.